So when it comes to getting a lean and muscular physique, you can make this journey easier or harder. And while I do recognize that there's enormous potential for personal growth through struggle, I also recognize that getting lean for most people is already hard enough. We don't need to make it even harder. And that's why in this video, I want to talk to you about 3 of the biggest mistakes that I see that make losing body fat more difficult than it needs to be. And I want to make sure you avoid these mistakes, so let's dive right into it. So the first thing that I see screw up so many people out there is what I would call the starting and stopping trap. How many times have you heard this phrase? Oh, I'm just restarting, everything is going to be great from now on. You talk to the same person a month later, ask them what happened. Oh, I was doing so well, I lost 10 pounds, I was doing great, but then this thing happened, I fell off, regained all the weight, but the good news is I'm restarting and I'm back on it. And it's this never-ending story of starting and stopping. You're good when there's nothing major getting in the way, but then as soon as something does happen, you drop the ball and quickly end up where you started. And the thing is, over time, restarting gets harder and harder. People feel like a failure and they lose confidence that they can set goals and reach them. And also, when you have this restarting mindset, it's easy to rationalize indulging right now before you're quote unquote back on a diet. And this is really what holds so many people back from generating positive momentum. They never get into that consistent routine where things just feel a lot easier. And that momentum is actually one of the keys to achieving great progress. And it's also what allows you to build habits quicker so you don't have to rely so much on motivation and discipline over the long term. So what can you do if you're stuck in this starting and stopping cycle? Well, my advice is to use something I call a scalable plan. So let's say your baseline, plan A, your most optimal plan, your original approach is lifting 4 or 5 times per week for about an hour, walking 12 to 15,000 steps per day. You're prepping all your meals, you're tracking all your calories, you're getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and you're generating that 600 to 700 calorie deficit per day, and you're seeing great results when you can follow this. And you might be able to follow this for longer periods of time. Now, when life gets in the way and you feel like you can't keep up and you're about to fall off track, instead of falling off and losing all your momentum, you switch to plan B, which is a scaled down version of your plan A. Now you're lifting 3 times per week, about 45 minutes per session. You're walking 8 to 10,000 steps per day. You're tracking only your calories and protein, and you're aiming for a 300 calorie deficit instead of a 600 calorie deficit. And that's an easier routine to stick with, and you're still able to make some really good progress. Can't stick with plan B? You're too overwhelmed with life and work? No worries, let's go with plan C. Now you're lifting twice per week, 30 minutes per session, you go in, go out, you're walking 6 to 8,000 steps per day, you're not tracking your calories at all, but you're staying mindful of your portion sizes based on your past experience, you're minimizing ultra-processed foods, and you're trying to get in as much lean protein as possible. The key here is to develop that mindset of 1 push-up is better than 0 push-ups. On the days where you don't feel like doing it, rather than not doing anything at all, you simply do less. Consistency beats perfection every single time. Even a 10-minute home workout and hitting the like button is enough to maintain your habits. And most importantly, on those hard days when you don't feel like doing it, is when you build that identity of someone who does it no matter what. And that identity is one of the most valuable things you can have. Now, the second mistake that keeps so many people stuck is what I call partial dieting. Let me give you an example. Let's say you maintain your current body weight at about 2,500 calories per day. You start a diet, you do some math, and then you settle on 2,000 calories per day, and you eat that from Monday to Thursday. And then you decide to relax a little bit on the weekends, and you get in 3,300 calories from Friday to Sunday. Guess what happens? Not only are you out of a calorie deficit, you will slowly gain weight over time. And that's despite dieting most of the week. And it's not very hard to get in 3,300 calories in a day, especially when you use the common excuses like, I don't know what's inside of this food, so I'm not going to bother with tracking, or I know I'm going to go over anyway, so I'm just going to start over on Monday. Calories add up very quickly. You can easily get in 2,000 calories in just one meal with some indulgences and an extra couple of drinks. And numbers aside, why do you need to reward yourself for sticking with a plan for 4 days? Stick with it for 4 months and then have a cheat day if you really want to. And more importantly, why does it have to be all or nothing? Because if you plan things out, if you moderate your food choices, you can have a fair amount of indulgence and still get to your goal. Now, the third reason so many people struggle with this is because they don't realize that dieting is a skill set. Here's what I mean by this. Let's say you're at 25% body fat, and I have a magic shredding wand and I transform your physique to 12% body fat right now. You have visible abs, you're lean, you have the physique that you always wanted to have. How long do you think you can sustain that 12% body fat with your current habits and skills? 1 month? 3 months? Maybe 6 months? Are you ready to be at 12% body fat right now? Because without the lessons and the skills that you learn from getting the result, you won't be able to keep the result. And there is no quick fix for this. You, me, and everybody else has to go through the process and put in the time, the effort, the practice, and most importantly, the patience to learn this stuff. And the same applies to other areas of life as well. Most lottery winners who got millions overnight ended up with nothing. If you don't have financial skills, you lose it very quickly. If someone made you the CEO of your favorite company tomorrow and you had no idea how to run that business, how long do you think you can keep that job before you get fired? Probably not very long. I know we all want the result yesterday, but the key to long-term success is to learn the skills and master the process. And failure is our greatest teacher. That's how we become mentally stronger. Through mistakes is how we improve our plan, how we learn what works best for our bodies. It's how we gain the experience to be able to maintain the result. And also later, if you do a bulk and you do a cut again, it's going to be so much easier. So don't let yourself get distracted by all the nonsense out there. If you want to do this the right way, you don't need some kind of special magical diet and a bucket load of supplements. Learn how to create a calorie deficit, lose 0.5% to 1% of your body weight per week with a healthy, high protein diet that you don't find as restrictive. Learn which foods make you more consistent with your calories and protein and which foods make you less consistent. Lift weights at least 3 times per week and learn proper form and how to put in the right intensity. Walk 8 to 10,000 steps per day and learn how to fit that into your schedule. Learn how to get in 7 hours of high quality sleep. That's a good place to start. And most importantly, when you fall off the wagon, learn how to quickly pick yourself up and get back on track. That's all it really takes to see great results. And the best part, when you do it without any extremes and you take a more reasonable approach, it works long term. And what's also going to help you with long-term results is making sure you're subscribed below. Details for coaching if you want to work with me in your fitness journey are also in the description below. Leaving another helpful video here for you at the end. So check out the video and I'm going to see you right there.